Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. If you haven't already, by the way, go check out my Batwoman Season 2, Episode 5 explosion, I guess you can call it, which was posted up earlier today. And then watch this video, you'll get more out of it. Or if you already have, or you just don't care and you're like, shut up, Az, just talk and make me dance, monkey. Then I'll do that right now for you. So we'll go into the ratings. And I also want to discuss how Caroline Dries, as the showrunner, if you're part of one of these diverse groups that she's championing, you are screwed. She is doing you no favors whatsoever. In actual fact, she's doing you much more harm than good, and considering she's doing you no good whatsoever, it's just harm. But first, before I do that, I just want to show you this. This is Evan Blake. Evan Blake, Wolf Spider, was the villain in this week's episode. And that's another thing which I'm going to go into, because they couldn't have him as the villain because the character here on his regular comic sheet, playboy, single, thief, male, blonde hair, blue eyes. Okay? I know, a bit too Aryan, but whatever. So those were his characteristics in the comic. In Batwoman in the CW, he's now gay, trans as well, because pronoun princess, and slightly ethnic. Not too sure what, but slightly ethnic. Maybe partially black. So that's what they've done with the character. Why did I make an issue of bringing that up? Well, because they threw all these diverse tags on him. Gay, trans, slightly ethnic. His villain character, they couldn't make a proper villain. So they actually had to make them good. Because gay people, trans people, according to their own scripts, cannot be portrayed in a negative light. So you can't have a true villain. You can have an anti-hero. You can have I'm doing it for the right reasons. Me ma's in prison, governor, and she's got money to live off. I have to do this to keep her in cups of tea. And it makes for very boring viewing, because the only people that you can demonize in the show is white men, or tag a white man who does the deed with a black partner. That's what they can do. And it's getting so freaking dull. Even Sophia, who they set up as this big bad in season 1, is just a racial girl. They just tried to make a racial ghoul but female. So I'm looking after this lotus blossom fucking wacky because it's a cure-all for everyone and mankind will abuse it. Oh, fuck off. Anywho, that's just one thing, and bear that in mind for later on in the video. You guys want the ratings. So let's just quickly jump to season 1. And the reason why I want to bring this up first of all is because you can clearly see from the start of the season all the way down to the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover that the show was losing viewers, but it was maintaining its at least a million, even though its initial episode, premiere episode 1.86 million, was diabolical for a new show. Tomorrow, Superman and Lois debuts. And I'm going to predict that Superman and Lois is going to do 3 to 4 million. Woo! Okay. 3 to 4 million. That's what I'm going to predict. All right? So, it was about halfway through the season, episode 11, that it really started to decline to a 0.674. But afterwards, it just came back a wee bit, 25% to 0.848 and then 0.815. So was this week an anomaly? Did something happen? It was before the Super Bowl, or was it the context of the episode, which was hot garbage, which was the hero, because fuck off, she's a hero, was so mad that the press thought that she was in a relationship with a man, did an interview where she splashed her face in a costume on the cover of the magazine, the what's she called from some Superman with beautiful lighting, clearly showing that it's Ruby Rose in the costume, giving away her secret identity, which proved that Kate Kane wasn't interested in helping people. Kate Kane was only interested in her own narcissistical self. But after time, it just gradually eroded again. And the reason why I say that is because this week's rating is fucking lower than the week before. A new record low. Now, it's only a smidgen. Last week was 0.509, this week 0.507. But if this is the new norm, after 5 episodes, this show's gonna tank. It's gonna absolutely freaking tank. Because all it takes is then to dip below 500 and in the 4s, and you could free fall. Your show could free fall into fucking oblivion. A bat title. Somebody said, tweeted at me last week, they said, why don't you have a go at things like Charmed? They're doing lower views than Batwoman. It feels like you're picking on the show. Charmed isn't a freaking IP that many people give a shit about. It was a show in the 90s going into the 2000s, I believe. And it had its own cult little following, but it's not a Bat title. It's not tied to the Batman family. This show should be doing superb. With all the lore and history and everything that goes alongside Batman, this show should be killing it. But it's not. It's killing itself because Caroline Dries isn't interested in Batwoman. She's not interested in Batwoman. She's not interested in entertaining you. She's interested in propagandizing this lifestyle. And it has to be propagandizing because you are born the way that you are born. And if you want to say, well, I want to create a show. I want to create a show that's targeted specifically to the alphabet community. That's fine. If you're okay with fucking throwing away money. Because shows should be inclusive to everyone because it's there on television for everybody to enjoy. So if you cater to a small minority, and they are a fraction minority, that's all you're really going to get. Because there ain't anything else for anyone else. And we know that the CW is actively trying to get rid of white males. Actively. They've said it themselves. We want more women than men. We're not happy with the amount of men we've got watching. Lunatics. So if you wanna pander, congratulations. But the worst thing is, I want to go to this Entertainment Weekly article, right? Caroline Dries, in this first paragraph here, she talks about, excuse me, how she didn't want to tackle the dark side of the Crows in season 1 because Kate was Batwoman and Jacob's the head of the Crows. And so she felt as if she couldn't get it to organically work. But the next paragraph is so telling. From her perspective, Tandy, who's Sophie, was excited to be part of a timely storyline. It's not timely at all. With everything that's going on right now with Black Lives Matter, and really just trying to call to light all the systemic issues that we have with our police in this country, and finding out that we were going to also be playing that exact same narrative on our show, I found it to definitely be very, very interesting, because there actually really truly is an opportunity, says Tandy. It is an honor to be able to play that, so I can hopefully educate others so that they know what the heck is going on in our country. This comes from a complete ignorant clown. A clown. Because in the show, the whole reason why the Crows were brought in was because the police were underfunded, understaffed, overwhelmed. And you're dealing with people who are putting their fucking lives, you Hollywood prissy pricks, putting their lives on the line for fuck all pay. While some pretender can whack some grease paint on them, get in front of a camera, take home a nice payday, very safe indeed, and then get on their high horse and preach about the systemic problems in the country. Go fuck off. Fuck off. You are pathetic. And then, in the episode itself, a couple of weeks ago, we were having Ryan Wilder talking about how she was framed. I got framed by the Crows. Sophie keeps dragging me into the Crows every week. And what do we find out this week? She wasn't framed by the Crows at all. She took her girlfriend's drug stash so she couldn't get high, put it in a bag and went out into the streets. And when a Crows member told her to smile when she was crying, she lost her temper, got arrested with a bag full of fucking drugs. We also know from the Victor Zaz episode that she hangs around in his circles. A hitman, a serial killer. She hangs around in their circles and she's known.
Okay, I found this on the web for a serial...
Stop it, Siri!
Check it out.
Siri, shut up! They're listening in. So we found out that it was her that caused the problems. And Sophie's dragging her in all the time because she's up to her neck in serial killers and psychos and hitmen and mob bosses and drug dealing. Black Lives Matter. You're a criminal. You're a criminal. And you want to play victim? Fuck off. And then you want to talk about systemic problems with the police in your country. There are problems. There are problems with everything. But when you're understaffed and underfunded and the crime's getting out of control, put yourself in that position. Then play Prius cop. Then try and be lord over the others, you hypocrites. So if you are black, you are getting so mistreated in this show because you have somebody running around screaming they're a victim and they're not. They're far from it. They went into the drug world. They went into the gang world. They went into the hitman world. They went into the serial killer world. But they're the victim. And how can you have a serious conversation about Black Lives Matter or any of this bollocks when you're making your main character a complete hypocrite? Anyway, long story short, ratings are shite and you deserve it. Hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and YouTube for live streaming. Links are in the description box down below. I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.